Hunger is pain and unpleasant feelings.
Not having the resources needed to sustain some sort of life within oneself.
Hunger is not knowing when you're going to have your next meal.
I think hunger is certainly a serious problem still in this country, especially for children.
America is a bigger deal than people think. I think there's a lot more families out there that struggle with food.
So do you think hunger is a big issue in America?
Yes, I think hunger is a problem in America.
I do believe that hunger is a big problem in America today.
I do think that hunger is a problem in America.
I don't think hunger is an issue in America.
I don't think hunger is an issue in America.
I do not believe hunger is a problem in America because we're throwing away so much food.
I would guess 1 out of 6 people go hungry every day.
I'd say about 1 in 5 people go hungry every day.
I would guess that 1 in 5 people go hungry in America.
On average, I think 1 out of 17 Americans are hungry.
Well, for people to be aware of the situation, it has to be in the media, and people have to pay attention to the media. So I think sometimes it's not the sort of news people want to hear. Poverty and a lot of the hunger is not visible. So people don't go around advertising that they went to the food shelf. And kids in schools often don't want to use the school lunch program because they feel a stigma attached to it. So I think a lot of the problems aren't very visible, and I think we don't pay very much attention to them, and to some extent. The government has a number of programs like food stamps and the WIC program and school lunch programs to help reduce the effects of hunger. So the programs we have do a lot to help, but I guess personally I would want us to see us doing more, and the current debate over cutting the food stamp program is very a great concern to me, because I think that would be a mistake. Well, I guess I'd like to say both. But yes, we should be more focused on hunger in our own communities. Americans are actually very generous people, and there's a lot of hunger around the world, and in many countries it is a more serious problem in terms of absolute numbers than it is here. But I think that it's very important that we focus as well on our own communities. And why don't we? I do think there's a lot of misconceptions out there about why people have low incomes, why they're suffering from hunger, and a lot of those misconceptions then get in the way of people wanting to help others. In small communities where people personally know each other, they're much more willing to help out. But where we don't know the people, where we don't have interactions with them, it's easy for people to sort of make assumptions that someone's in that situation because of poor choices. And sometimes poor choices are involved, but there's also a lot to do with unemployment, low-wage jobs, and mental illness as well is also an issue that creates problems for people trying to find jobs and keep jobs. And then unless we have a safety net to help those people, then they're going to suffer from hunger and other problems. But to my mind, what's really important is the children. You know, they didn't make these decisions, and their futures are really impacted by being poor or not having enough food, or living in a very stressful environment, and that's going to affect them their whole life. And so providing the food or better opportunities to help children who are living in poor families to get those opportunities, I think, is really important.
And that ultimately it can be put on the shoulders of the citizens, because they're the ones that empower the elected officials, and they can get them to actually do something about it.
And I believe that it's a mixture of the federal government, the state government, and the citizens to solve the problem.
I would guess that the government has some responsibility in that, but also I think that the citizens themselves and their communities could do a lot to fix it for each other.
Well, I'm going to say we are the government. We elect the government is supposed to be doing what we as a society think government should do. So.
You know love